When it comes to fear, any kind of fear, there's various different parts of the brain involved, but of particular importance are the amygdala and the hypothalamus. So for example, the brain gets all sorts of sensory information and it passes that onto the amygdala, and it's the amygdala's job to determine whether a particular context or situation is dangerous or safe, and it bases that decision on past experience. So if it determines that a particular context is dangerous, then activates the hypothalamus, which kicks off the fight or flight response. So that's the pounding chest, the adrenaline coursing through your veins, which is great if you're being chased by a tiger or being attacked, but not so good if you're sat on the runway waiting to take off. Now, of the many different options people have available, one example is mindfulness, and that often involves doing breathing techniques, just dissociating from your thoughts, but it doesn't really alter the way your amygdala responds to the situation. It might make you a bit calmer initially, but the underlying problem's still there, so it isn't very effective really in my experience. And you have the fear of flying courses, and on them you'll have a pilot explaining what all the different noises mean. But again, for me, it's working at the wrong level. It's working at the conscious logical level, because so many people, they know it's the safest form of transport, they know that they're more chance of dying driving there in the car, but despite that, the fear's still there. Now, some of the more effective fear of flying courses utilise something called thought field therapy, or EMDR, and they do work at the emotional level and do have some impact, but compared to the Flying Be Calm fear eraser, it's like comparing a Porsche with a horse and cart in my experience. So Flying Be Calm, there are two main elements to it. First of all, you have the fear eraser, and you also have some hypnotic tracks. But of critical importance is the fear eraser, which literally sets this head and shoulders above every other technique in my experience. And in essence, it's a 10-minute audio track that you listen to. And what the listener must do first of all is bring up the fear as much as possible, so that all the parts of the brain that represent the concept of flying are lit up, as well as the corresponding links to the emotion. Throughout the track, you'll hear suggestion after suggestion of things like, you're just thinking about it in the wrong way, feel the fear drain away. So all the suggestions are aimed at telling the subconscious mind that the thing that you're focusing on has little emotional significance. You'll hear certain noises. When you hear one noise, you tap with one hand. When you hear the other, you tap with another hand. And what that does, it alters the way the brain processes language. The tapping technique also allows something called pattern interrupts to occur. So again, throughout the track, you'll hear a voice say, get the thing in mind, you know the one. But then all of a sudden there'll be a change in the tapping sequence. What that does is systematically weakening the automatic link that's currently there between the thing you're thinking of and the emotional response. No matter how many other therapies someone's tried, whether they've tried drugs or anything else, after just one or two listens, the vast majority of people will feel a massive decrease in anxiety. And not only that, they most likely won't be able to bring it back. You can put the fear eraser on your phone or MP3 player. So if you get to the airport, if a little bit of fear comes up at the airport, you can just get rid of it there and then. One girl in particular, she booked a holiday for 3 months' time, and she did have a lot of intense anxiety, which she got rid of, and she didn't need to use it at all on the flight there. But on the way back, she had a night flight, and for whatever reason, her amygdala decided that flying at night was dangerous. So all she did on holiday is had a 10-minute track, listened to it whilst imagining flying at night, and the fear just disappeared completely. It's just good to have it with you so you know you can always get rid of it, and after 1 or 2 flights, that will be it then.